Okay, so I had done a review already. It was about 30 minutes long, and Movie Maker wasn't cutting it. So I downloaded another piece of software, and though it looks like the video quality's dropped a little bit on this piece of software, I'm not going to let it stop me from doing this review because I feel this is a review that everybody should see. Um, just a little preview. I knew I said I would do another review next week, but um, I'm going to go see Edge of Tomorrow on Tuesday, so I don't feel it necessary to do Kingdom Come and then turn around and do Edge of Tomorrow. So I just started on Kingdom Come right now, and yeah, I know a lot of people watching this video right now know me already and know what my taste in books and what I like to do and what I like to read. And a lot of you should already know that my favorite book of all time is definitely Kingdom Come. Uh, it, there's not enough time on the earth, I think, for me to explain why I like Kingdom Come. So rather than boring you all to death with every single detail about why I like Kingdom Come, I'm going to try and give you enough of a review for you to understand why I like it and why I think you should give it a shot if you haven't already, and reread it if you have already read it. I'm going to start off right now in saying that I know I didn't mind doing spoilers for 10,000 Clowns or Godzilla, but with Kingdom Come and the people who haven't read it yet, I'm going to strongly suggest that you turn off the video right now, or put it on your watch later if you would, for me, please. And go and read this book. Please, please, please go read this book because this book is so excellent. I feel that if you're a comic book fan, you at least need to acknowledge its existence because it's so very, very good. Um, I know that the big three books, the most popular of all time, are definitely The Dark Knight Returns, Sandman, and Watchmen. But I mean, I'm a huge Sandman fan, but I still love Kingdom Come more. I think Kingdom Come speaks to people, and it speaks to everyone in different ways. Um, I know how it spoke to me, and how what you think is right isn't necessarily right, but the things that are wrong are definitely wrong. And I think that's a message that everyone should be able to absorb and think upon. Um, I'm sorry, I'm finding it hard to present words on how amazing this story is. I wrote down notes, but I don't think they really help all too much. Um, I'll give you a brief synopsis. And again, if you haven't read this book, I encourage you to put this on your watch later and go and read it before I start in on the synopsis. Because I feel that just hearing it from me isn't giving you enough justice. I think you need to read it and absorb it and think upon it to truly understand what I'm trying to speak. The synopsis is that in a dystopic future where Superman has given up on us, on everybody, and put himself into exile, the metahumans have run rampant. They have no moral code. They have no honor for human life. They don't care. Truth, justice, the American way, antiquated views that no longer apply to the new generation. After all, they're almighty. Why should they care about the petty concerns of humans? and eventually it goes too far, and things start becoming apocalyptic, and Superman comes back. But his presence only helps further Armageddon. I'm leaving out a lot of big details, but it's the general outline of Kingdom Come. Um, just starting in with my notes. The artwork by Alex Ross is purely incredible. If you don't know who Alex Ross is, um, go into YouTube. You're already in YouTube watching me, but go into Google and type in Alex Ross and experience this man's artwork. He does it all by airbrush, and the lighting is fantastic. The vantage points are amazing. Every piece of this, every page, every piece that he does feels realistic, as if you're right there with Norman McKay and the Spectre, witnessing the events that are unfolding inside of this book. And it's amazing and it's incredible, and words cannot really describe how much I think Alex Ross is the best artist in the industry, bar none. This book makes a lot of references to scripture, specifically the book of Revelations. I am by no means a Bible study expert, but I have read the book of Revelations. And using that vantage point, that story, so full of power and emotion and inevitability, I don't think that's the word, but I'm going to use it, really sets the tone for the book. And it's a dark book, don't get me wrong. Don't read this book expecting a Superman story that it craps sunshine and vomits rainbows. This book is very dark. People die. Lots and lots of people die. But it doesn't present to you in a way that you're thinking you're watching a gore fest, like Future's End Zero. And Future's End Zero brings me into another point about this book. DC and Marvel really need to learn from this example and present us a dystopia that's not so dystopic. Like, you can definitely feel that that where we are now in society is definitely better off where we are in Kingdom Come. Every day they wake up, Norman McKay makes a mention of this. Every day he wakes up, and it's a miracle that existence is still there. That's dystopic. That's truly showing that it can always be worse. It's a fantastic tone. The tone of the book stays throughout. It's consistent. It's powerful. It's definitely some of the best written overtones I've ever seen in my entire life. I know Mark Waid's not very popular at the moment, but man, did he kill it. Man, did he kill it. This book harkens back to the Silver and Golden Age, because I don't know if people know this, but Kingdom Come was written as a response to the nitty-gritty Frank Miller era of comic books, where everybody just kind of wanted to be The Dark Knight Returns. And Alex Ross and Mark Waid were like, but what made comic books popular was not The Dark Knight Returns and blood and hopelessness, destruction, but rather hope and a multitude of things. So this book makes reference to the Silver and Golden Age quite a bit, as far as using imagery, bringing back characters that aren't as significant in the modern era, but were pretty significant back then, or not even really significant in the Bronze Era as well. When was the last time you can remember Wesley Dodds being in a story and being a key player? How about the Spectre? The Spectre may be a little bit easier, but he plays a very significant role in this book that I could argue is more significant than anything that he's been in the last 10 years. It's really hard for me to gather words and make opinions on this book because, as I said before, it's all interpreted differently by each reader, in my opinion. I'll keep going with my notes, though. I'm sorry to sidetrack. One thing this book does show is that Superman, he doesn't change. He doesn't change with the times. He's always Superman. In this book, he's lost everything. Everything. His parents have passed away. Lois was slaughtered by the Joker. And later in the story, you find out that Kansas is an irradiated wasteland, so he's even lost Smallville. And throughout it all, he continues to be Superman. Almost stubbornly. Almost like it's an ideology that he can't let go of anymore. Norman McKay also makes a mention at the end of the book that the day that he let the super become more important than the man is when the world started to go. He lost himself. He thought that just because he was Superman, he could do anything. And he's learned this lesson before, but I think he learned it more in Kingdom Come than anywhere else. This is definitely an alternative reality. So there's versions of characters that you're not familiar with, and I think this is one of the first versions of the Flash. The Flash is, in this, merged with the Speed Force. Him and the Speed Force are one all the time now. So he exists not only in our reality, but several at the same time, and they make a really clever use of that later in the book. Top-notch writing. This, as I said before, this book references the Gold and Silver Era, so just about on every page you can go, oh, that character. Oh, that character. I haven't seen that character in forever. Specifically, one that I saw was the bombing brigade for the United Nations to drop the 3 atomic bombs on the metahuman population was the Blackhawks. When's the last time you remember the Blackhawks doing anything? I thought that was cool. They also make a small parody of the Gold and Silver Era in a restaurant named Planet Krypton, kind of like Planet Hollywood, but with superheroes. And it's really light humor. It's fun-loving, just like the Golden and Silver Era were. Perfect allegories. Speaking of allegories, allegory exists between Superman and Jesus, and I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but they definitely exist in this book, and it's definitely worth making note of. I don't understand all of them. There's probably a few that I missed, but it definitely exists in there. Looking back and rereading this book, I realized how much Injustice borrowed from it, and that's probably why Injustice is such a great series, is because it touches upon the tone, kind of. Injustice is definitely its own animal, don't get me wrong, but it touches upon the tone of Kingdom Come, and that's good. I think that in the modern age of comic books, we need another Kingdom Come, and Injustice may just be it. So, shout out to Injustice. Characters are represented well. They act almost exactly like you expect them to, even though it is an alternative reality. One thing I do have to complain about this book, and there's only 2 things that I found that I can complain about, are the sheer number of characters in this book is ridiculous. It's not quite Crisis on Infinite Earths, but it's pretty ridiculous. There are literally hundreds of characters in this book, between the New Age metahumans, the Justice League, the Human Resistance, Batman's team. There's a lot of characters. Some of them don't even get names in the book. They're players. They're key players. Some of them even have lines of dialogue, but you don't ever really learn their names. There is an alternative version that you can buy. There's two: Absolute Kingdom Come and Kingdom Come Special Edition, I do believe its name is, that have a breakdown of all the characters. So if you want to learn more about the Kingdom Come universe, pick those up. It also introduces some new characters, like Magog. Magog is an excellent character. I associated more with Magog in the however many issues. I do believe this book was broken down into four books. I associate with Magog in 4 books more than some characters over the last 50 years, because he's that well written. He is the one who gave Superman his self-imposed exile. He is the one who caused that. He ushered in this new era of superheroes who don't care, and by that a new era of violence. And when Superman finally confronts him, Magog tells Superman that it's all his fault. That he should have been the bigger man. He should have beat the shit out of him. He should have showed humanity that his way of thinking was wrong. Magog filled with so much regret. It's heartbreaking to watch the character express his regrets. Make the ghosts go away. It's such a great line. I have the chills right now even saying it. The fight between Captain Marvel, who's a very key player in this book, and Superman is done excellently. It's actually how it would probably go down. A lot of the other mediums like to think that Superman would walk all over Captain Marvel, but it's very much the opposite, I think, since Captain Marvel would soon realize that he has an advantage with magic and capitalize on it. That being said, Captain Marvel is the defining character of this book. The book is supposed to be centered around Superman, but it's really Captain Marvel who shows us what it means to be a hero. Billy, during the turmoil when all the Supermans were going, he was one of the first to disappear. And you find out why, and I'm not going to spoil that. But as Bruce said, he was at war with himself. How could someone so kind-hearted and loving have such a monster inside of him, as Bruce said? And Billy understands justice on a fundamental level, I think, even more fundamentally than Bruce Wayne or Superman. And in the end, it's Billy who makes the call. It's Billy who balances the world. And he does it through sacrifice. Earth's mightiest mortal saves the earth. Only he could, because he was the one who understood. He was the one who knew. And I'm sorry if I'm getting somber in tone and a little emotional, but it's such an excellent moment in comic book history. Speaking of moments, this book is filled with them. Down to the artwork, which, as I said before, is pure incredible. The best splash page in all of comic book history, in my opinion, exists in this book. And I'm going to show it to you. If you want to see a better picture of it, go to Google, type in Alex Ross, Captain Marvel. It'll surely be one of the first results. Look at Billy and look at Superman. I know you probably can't make out the text, and this is an awful picture for the quality, but it says, by a single bolt of lightning, Armageddon has arrived. And it's the crescendo. It's the top. Everything from that point on is the downfall. I don't know how to put it in writing terms right now, but that's the pinnacle of the story right there. Accented in a profound and amazing fashion. Memorable. I use that quote for everything. It's on my Xbox Live profile. I use it on Facebook. I almost got it tattooed to my body once. It speaks to me. Let's see. There's some light humor at the end of the book that really shows that these writers, this creative team rather, knows what they're doing. It's definitely a great way to come off the somber tone of the entire book, but I felt the ending was a little unnecessary. I think that Alex Ross and Mark Waid knew that they had something special and that it was going to become a series, and it did. Its name is Thy Kingdom Come. I have not read Thy Kingdom Come. I have no interest in reading Thy Kingdom Come because Kingdom Come's so excellent that I know it'll maybe just ruin Kingdom Come for me. But the ending felt tacked on. But the ending, the last line of the book, is definitely incredible. It's let's go home and dream about the future. It was as if to say, we've done damage. We've severely messed up. But because of the sacrifice of those who fought and understood, we can finally dream of a future where we all can coexist and where we can all live together as a planet and not just metahumans and humans, or black or white or male or female, but dream about a future of a unified Earth. And it's beautiful. I think that's a beautiful way to end such a heavy book that touches on so many topics that are still discussed to these days. Words, again, can't describe how much I love Kingdom Come and how much I want you all to reread it if you've already read it, or to go read it if you decide to stay. Sorry I ruined this great book for you, but man, you really need to go read it. I know this review is probably not as long as people expected it to be, but the only way I can wrap up Kingdom Come, because of the way I feel about this book, is that you need to read it and experience it for yourself, because it speaks to everyone differently. And I think that comic books have forgotten how to do that nowadays. They speak to us, but they don't speak to us in significant ways. They don't make us question ourselves. And Kingdom Come kind of makes you question yourself in some sort of fashion, one way or another. And I think comic books have forgotten it these days. And it's something they need to come back to. Because if you continue to make every generation question how they act and who they are, then every generation will make progression towards the unified Earth that they make. They don't really reference it because that's my interpretation of it, but I do believe that if you make each generation question themselves, that we're going to be one step closer to unified Earth. And I think that this book is a stepping stone to understand what it means to be unified. That's my interpretation of it. I'd love to know what you guys think of Kingdom Come. It's by far my favorite piece of literature. It's by far my most read book I've owned, other than maybe Hush. And sorry guys, this review probably sucks, but read Kingdom Come. I'll be back on Tuesday to do my small review of Edge tomorrow. It's probably going to be shorter than this one and the other two because I'm going with a friend. So I'm not going to have my phone out writing down notes. I'll try to remember what I can and give you guys that review. Until Tuesday, guys, have a great day and read Kingdom Come.